Hi guys, I'm Potsy. We're here on site doing a little check-in today at the A-frame. It all started here about 6 months or so ago. I found this beautiful block of land right here at the base of the mountains, and I jumped on the Den A-frame, the large A-frame, and we're about 80–90% done with building this thing, so I'll come and show you guys what we're up to. All right, so let me take you guys up. This is a site that I found last summer, and it took a little while to close, but one of the things I liked about it is it had an existing well and septic, which took a lot of the pain out of doing the permitting. This is my first new construction. I've done 2 renovations prior to this one, and I'm really excited to actually make something from scratch. It's been a huge learning curve, a lot of different things that I've picked up on this build. So I'm actually excited to take that into the next builds. It's something that I'm looking to get more into in my future. But I lived in the city for a decade or so. I'm originally from Australia. I found some property up here about 8 years ago. So I've been coming up for weekends now for roughly 8 years. And then the last few years I've been full-time. And now I know I love it up here. I love building, I love renovating. And this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I started here myself with my brother-in-law and another builder kind of guiding me. We rented a skid steer and an excavator, and we just got to work on excavating the site. This site here is actually on a lot of bluestone, so we couldn't dig very deep. We got about 2, 3, 4 feet down in some spots, which is why we went with a pier and beam house. So that's why it's quite raised off the ground here, which is actually perfect for the site here because we have this view of the mountains, and being raised a little gives a little bit more of that view. So I'm really happy with this foundation. We've also put up a 2-inch foam board and then parged the sides with concrete. So it has the look of like a really solid foundation, but it's actually all open under there, and that gave me a whole service cavity to put in an air handler and ductwork. So I got all my heating and cooling just recessed underneath the house. So that was one of the main benefits of this kind of foundation. I landed on the A-frame plan because it's just unique, it's gorgeous, and I wanted something that stands out up here. A-frames haven't really been done for decades, really. And I wanted to do it. I wanted to do the modern version of that and make it really well insulated and air sealed, and put my ceiling speakers in, and every little modern touch I wanted to put in here and make this the new version of a classic design. We rented a crane for the day to get the large roof rafters in place. And then from that point, we built the back dormers, which are those little raised sections on the front and back. And sheathing was probably the next biggest thing we did here, which is that green stuff you see, which is essentially the roof underneath the metal. And then we've got this strapping, which is going to support the metal roof. And then the next big thing to do here is put in the doors and windows and build the deck. As you can see, we just started on that today, and the deck should go up pretty quickly. The other big thing that's happened here is all this stonework. We needed to feel around all the footings needed a good amount of fill around them to hold them in place. So I decided that I wanted to do this beautiful stone wall because it's such an important part of the house. And then we've used that as a retaining wall for the footings. So this build's actually really significant for me because it's my first new construction. It's something I want to get into more. I want to project manage other people's builds, and I also want to build more myself. I've got quite a bit of land here. There's 3 other locations that I'm looking at building on. And it's the first place that I'm going to live with my family that I've actually built from scratch. So we're planning on living here for about 6 months, and then we'll move on to the next spot and put this on Airbnb. But I'm really excited to have made something from scratch here. It feels really good. The main things to finish up here are plumbing and electric. And then once we have that approved, we'll be getting our spray foamers in. I decided I wanted to spray foam this. It comes with a really high R value and air sealing. It's not the best thing for the environment, but I think that is well offset by the energy efficiency that you gain from spray foam. So that's the next big thing, is finishing up for spray foam, and then following that will just be finishing work. So sheetrock, painting, I'm putting up all the birch veneer. I'm sticking very close to the interior design from the den plan. So I need to get my finishes in, and I'd say we're probably only about 6 weeks off from being finished up here if all goes to plan. We got quite a bit of job site cleanup to do, as you can see. It's awesome, the deck's starting to come together. Before I started building this on this site, got out my compass and looked at the orientation, because I really wanted to get the right aspect for this side of the roof to catch the sun and put solar array up here. This little front half of the roof here, I'm going to cover that with solar panels, and then the entire house is going to operate electrically, from heating and cooling to cooking and the rest, and lighting, etc. So hopefully this will be enough room here to power all, if not more, than the house's requirements. So for heating and cooling, we went with a heat pump system. This will take care of all of our heating and cooling needs, summer and winter. We've got vented ductwork in the basement, and then that goes through to registers in the floor, and then we put one little mini split unit up the top, and we're taken care of. Foundation, we ended up with the benefit of having space down here, and we're putting that to use by putting our air handler and ductwork and a couple other utilities down here, which will be great. Eventually the solar panels will need a battery, and then I'll have another spot to put my probably Tesla batteries down here. All right, so let's go in and check it out. We got the mudroom here, and this is where we'll have the main entrance door, or I should say that's the main, and then this is the interior door here. And then as we step inside, first of all, I'll take you into the modification which we made here, which I'm gonna make an office. We'll do a big built-in desk here, and then I put this big, beautiful window. You can sit here and work from home. And then moving through, we've got the bathroom here. We've just finished putting in our interior insulation. And then this is really the big part of the house here, the great room. We got this giant 30-foot ceiling, all glass, and we're going to do the dining table on one side and the couch on the other side. This whole 10-foot section here is kitchen with the fridge, the sink in the center, and then cooking space here. And this is the second bedroom. So we just finished putting up the interior rock wool insulation in here, and it's all for soundproofing and fireproofing. And it's awesome because now we have like kind of temp walls up, and you can really start to feel the space. So moving forward, we've got all our lights have been roughed in now. I went with quite a lot of lighting. That'll be something that each person will want to decide for themselves. I was really particular about my lighting. I wanted it to have really good dim functionality and be energy efficient LEDs. And the other thing I wanted to do was set my speakers in the roof, so we wouldn't have to have any like clunky speakers around the house, and keep a really minimal design. So thanks for stopping by. I'm really excited to see this thing come together. We've still got a little bit to do, but I would say if you check back in a month or so, we should have this thing buttoned up, and I'll be ready to have a beer on the deck.